At the end of the day, it's been one of the strangest generations that I can ever think of, and there's been a lot of uneasiness. There is going to be a lot of question marks and things like that when it comes to what these companies are trying to do. And again, it's really, really kind of frustrating from one aspect, but when you see stuff come through, it really kind of goes and shows that, hey, fans can kind of breathe easy, a little bit easier, I guess, with this news. So like, I look at this as a really good update, as a really good piece of news from Microsoft, and hopefully they continue with these types of announcements and pieces of news, because at the end of the day, we realistically need these types of announcements. We need these things to kind of push the console gaming experience even further than what it has ever been. So hopefully that continues to happen. Listen, I'm excited about this. This gets me pretty excited. We'll see how it goes, because at the end of the day, Microsoft and Sony are both doing strange things. They're both doing weird things. They're both doing things that are unexpected, and that means that as fans, we maybe come out okay. I don't know. We'll see. But I want to get into it. Hey, I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews with another video. Thank you for checking it out. I appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. I'd appreciate that as well. It helps out the channel. It means a lot to me personally. If you guys are looking for someone who does daily content, guess what? That's me. I try to be fun yet informative, so yeah, keep that in mind as we go along. Yeah, it's really good stuff. So thank you guys for rocking out with me. Now, listen, this is super interesting. Talking about the next Xbox, right? Talking about what the aims are, what the what they're kind of headed for. So we know Xbox is working with AMD on a next generation Xbox hardware, and Series X and S architect Jason Ronald has been talking on a new podcast about three of Microsoft's core aims for its next consoles. In the latest Xbox podcast episode, he was quizzed about future console hardware and what that looks like for Microsoft. While the team clearly has big plans relating to PC and cloud gaming, console was still apparently a core focus, and Ronald has touched on three major aspects of the next-gen Xbox: compatibility across devices, neural rendering, and of course AI. Here's what he had to say, and I quote, "So last month we announced a multi-year strategic partnership that spans multiple products across console, cloud, PC, and handheld. And we're deeply focused on hardware and silicon innovation and how we can push the boundaries beyond the current generation of devices. But this is really all grounded in the work we've done and we've been doing to create a unified platform that allows players to play across devices and in entirely new ways. So together with AMD, we're designing dedicated silicon and hardware to enable the next generation of gaming experiences. And so that means we're investing deeply in the next generation of rendering technologies, such as neural rendering, which will bring a new level of fidelity to the quality of games that you're having. And it's really about deepening the immersion between you and the gameplay experience that you have. We're also investing in dedicated silicon to enable the next generation of AI capabilities that will be transformative in how you actually experience your gameplay, and also provides a new surface that developers can actually take advantage of and deliver new kinds of experience that they've never been able to deliver before." So Ronald actually goes on to say that the work on the AI silicon starts with this year's ROG Ally. The upgraded ROG Ally X has a dedicated NPU that allows Microsoft to start experimenting and trying some of these AI-powered experiences well before we get our hands on a next-generation console. It'll be interesting to see what comes of that and how the more powerful handheld influences Xbox's next home console. We're also intrigued to see how Microsoft manages to translate its multi-store approach to console gaming, if they do that at all. In this podcast, Ronald says it's really about ensuring that gameplay is not locked to an individual device or an individual storefront, and it's certainly going to be interesting seeing all this unfold and evolve as we march on to next generation. So yeah, very interesting thing right there. Like Microsoft, obviously they got their teeth kicked in quite a bit with the console stuff, and kind of gave up and kind of threw in the towel a bit, but like I said, even with them doing that, they'll probably still sell 15, 20 million Xboxes, whatever they want to call them, next generation. I guess depending on the price, I mean, like, listen, I'm not going to pay $1,000 for one, but if they have, decent features and things like that, and it's just a console, and it's not bloated with a bunch of nonsense, then they keep it in a respectable price range, then I could see myself picking one up. Especially now that they don't have any exclusives, but it looks like Sony could be, kind of not having exclusives as well. Honestly, it just really kind of depends on where you're at with, these types of things. Because for me, anyway, I look at this and I think to myself, what has Microsoft done that's going to help differentiate themselves from, the competition? And I think, I don't know, it's like I want to say, hey, consoles are here to stay. Consoles are, for me, I love console gaming. The plug and play experience, it's fantastic. It's something that I never grow tired of. It's just the easiest way to do things, and I certainly just enjoy that. But on the other side of things, it's like these console makers seem to be killing their own platform a lot of the time with some of these choices that they make. I mean, raising prices in the middle of a generation, not really innovating in terms of, well, Microsoft didn't really innovate in terms of their controller or their UI or anything like that. And now you look at what Microsoft is rumored to be doing, and it's like, PC stores and stuff like that. That really kind of goes against what Microsoft was trying to accomplish, in my opinion, or what consoles are designed to accomplish. And that's a real shame, to say the least, because I do feel like at the end of the day, they maybe somewhat forgot about what console gaming is supposed to be all about, and it certainly wasn't supposed to be about the troublesome things and things like that. Like, hey, I gotta pick which store I'm gonna use. Oh, hey, like, I don't get a dedicated version for my console anymore. It's not plug-in. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I gotta switch between this, or hey, I'm gonna have to run some type of virus protection on these. Like, we don't know what they're gonna do, but hopefully we'll see what happens in the future, like I said. But this is good news that they are working on something. They reiterate this quite a bit now. Hey, we're working on, new consoles. We're working on this. We're working on that. That is nice to see. And, at the end of the day, Sony can't really get out of their way right now. So that's going to allow Microsoft to kind of stick around probably a little bit longer. And the reason why is because, let's just be real here, Microsoft realistically probably would be gone now if Sony really put the hammer down. But it doesn't feel like Sony is doing that. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen and what we're going to see in the future. I know it's been kind of crazy with how Microsoft has been handling this stuff, and how, like, these companies are handling these things. But it's like, Microsoft has their own idea, Sony has their own idea, but both of these companies are also making, some good choices, and then they're also making, obviously, some bad choices. So we'll have to see what happens. Like I said, it is an exciting time, but one that I think gamers should proceed with caution, because, like I said before, Microsoft could literally, the way that they kind of pull out, they could literally do that at any point in time. And I could definitely see them do something that is looked at as kind of crazy or hasty or something like that. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, it is an interesting time for sure, and Microsoft could certainly surprise people. We'll have to wait and see how that kind of works out. But I would love your guys' take on this. What do you guys feel about some of these pieces of news? I mean, at least they're talking about the next Xbox, but we have no idea what that's going to look like or what that's going to be. And again, like no matter how much they push things like, oh, play your Xbox here or there on a smart refrigerator or whatever. Like to me, and I think probably 90% of console gamers don't care about that stuff. We just want a console to play our games on. We don't care about playing while we take a poop or, whatever the case may be. I personally don't care about cloud gaming or PC gaming at all. So those things mean absolutely jack squat to me. Like play anywhere, nothing. Might as well toss that out the window. Anyway, I'll link this in the description. You guys can check it out. Let me know what you think. Rack 'em up. Crep Gamer out.